Good afternoon. My name is Skylar Dunn, and I am a senior here at the University of Southern California. And in light of Black History Month, we've been highlighting great African-American figures here at the University of Southern California. And today I have with me some special guests, and all of them happen to be my friends, and I want them to introduce themselves, and then we're going to kind of get into a conversation about Black history and how we feel as not only Black students, but as Black athletes at a predominantly white institution. So I'll start from my left, and I'll have Mr. DJ Morgan introduce himself.
My name is DJ Morgan. I'm a senior here. I currently graduated last semester and with a major in public planning and development with the track and real estate. I'm competing in my last semester with track and field. My past 4 years I was a football player, but this year, due to injuries and stuff, I'm focusing solely on track, and hopefully God puts me in a great place when I'm done.
Hi, my name is Coco in Cha and Dip, and I'm also a senior on the track and field team. I specialize in the sprint races, and I am in my last semester competing here at USC, and I am a global health major.
Hi, my name is Reggie Southall. I am a junior here at the University of Southern California, majoring in human biology, and I'm competing in baseball.
Hi, my name is Dominique Randall. I'm from the women's soccer team. I am academically a junior, but a redshirt sophomore. I'm majoring in human biology with a minor in occupational therapy.
So the first question I kind of want to pose to you guys is, how did you choose the University of Southern California, one, and what was your high school career like as far as recruiting is concerned? So how did the recruiting aspect affect you, and how did you ultimately choose the University of Southern California? And I'll start with you, Dom.
I originally grew up in San Diego, so I followed a lot of USC. I've always wanted to come here as my dream school. What I wanted to do is top one physical therapy school in the country. And at the time when I was growing up, women's soccer at USC was on the rise, and they won their first national championship in 2007. So I was really drawn to it. Academically, it's one of the top universities in the country, and I knew in high school I had to focus on academics as well as soccer. So I didn't have the normal high school experience. I always went to camps. If I wasn't with high school team, I was with my club team, or I was with the state team or the regional team. I was always busy. I'd always contact coaches once a week. I would eat lunch in the library and make phone calls to coaches. And so this was actually the last school I talked to. We had a couple discussions. I came out, loved it, lived up to my expectations, and then committed here and lived out my dream.
Now let me ask you a follow-up. Did you ever see any women that looked like you when you were growing up? You said that they were on the rise, their program was on the rise. Did you ever see any Black women on their team that looked like you?
Not necessarily. Soccer is very new to a lot of African American females. Our team, I believe, now is very diverse. When I first got here, there were two, Samantha Johnson and Autumn Altamirano. And then I came, and then there is two more that came with me, so Tamara Mejia and Ariel Baptiste. And then as we keep going, we have diversified our team a lot more, and I think it's something that a lot of girls that come to our camps look up to. At our camps, we're recruiting a lot of people, not only African Americans, but other people of other races as well. And I think as a program, we're paving the way for little girls like us to also focus, soccer's another option. We're not just limited to the stereotypical sports that people deem us as.
Like Dom, I'm also a Southern California kid, but I never really saw myself coming to USC. When I was in the 6th grade, well, I'm originally from Inglewood, and I moved out to Fontana in the 6th grade, and then I attended Los Osos High School in Rancho Cucamonga. And I spent my first 2 years there, and then my junior year, I transferred to Sarah High School in Gardena. And that was kind of a culture shock, going from Los Osos, which was predominantly a white school, and then moving to Sarah, which is predominantly African American. And so I transferred schools, and then I did that in order to further my baseball talent. So when I was at Sarah, I got the opportunity to play shortstop, and I continued to do that. And then my senior year, I was being recruited by a lot of HBCUs. I was being recruited by Southern University, Alcorn State University, Alabama State, and Texas Southern. I want to say maybe May of my senior year, which is really late.
Right.
USC was at one of my games watching a fellow teammate of mine who was a first rounder to the Mets, Dominic Smith. And so the coach was there, and he saw me play, and I want to say that game was on a Monday, and the coach talked to me after the game, and they set up a visit for that Wednesday, and I want to say when I came here, I mean, I had taken some visits to some HBCUs, so coming here was
Totally different world, right? Yeah.
It was like night and day. I was like, man, this place is awesome. So I committed 2 days later, and here I am.
So my experience with high school and college recruiting was very different than the ones that were spoken before. In track and field, when you're one of the top recruits in the nation, everybody comes to you. It's similar to football. So I've been running club track since I was 12 years old, and I've been recruited since I was about in 8th grade because of my times. So it's always been a flood of people saying, come here, come here. I got all the envelopes, threw most of them away because I didn't even know where the schools were that were recruiting me. But all my life I was focused on Ivy League schools. So when schools like USC, UCLA recruited me, I kind of like just threw it in the trash because I was not interested in that at all. And being a California kid here, born and raised in Long Beach, I always wanted to run away. Like, I did not imagine myself staying here for another 4 years. I wanted the experience somewhere else, and all my life my parents have put a lot of stress on academics and not really athletics. So I didn't really cherish the opportunity to attend a university to run and get my academics paid for. So I didn't really understand how important that was, being an African American woman going to school and running all expenses paid, until I got into about 11th grade, and I saw my other teammates who would graduate and they didn't have that same opportunity that I was presented with, and it was a really, I guess, emotional thing to see. Long story short, I realized that going to an Ivy League school might not have been the best if you really wanted to pursue a sport, because I'm not going to say what school it was, but they told me at the end of the day, you're going to end up being a student, not an athlete. Like, we don't want that, because Ivy Leagues don't give out athletic scholarships, first of all, which I did not know until I got many visits at home. So I had to make a decision about where I wanted to go, and to me, USC was the perfect place to pursue my academic and athletic career.
Like Coco, I've been getting recruited for, since as long as I can remember. I actually feel like I committed to USC back in 2001 or something. I was 10 years old, and Coach Ed Ogeron came into my home to home visit my oldest brother. His name is Chris Morgan. And I remember when Coach Ogeron came into my house, I told him, I'm going to USC too. I remember I told him that day when I was 10, and my dad was just talking to me about that before I came here. When I looked up and I got into high school, my freshman year, I actually had an offer to Florida. And then I didn't even pay attention to that offer. I'm like, okay, when's SC coming? You know what I'm saying? When am I going to get that SC offer? So I go to the USC football camp that freshman summer, and Pete Carroll and Sarkisian, all these guys are there. And I go and I run my 40. And basically after I run my 40, I probably ran like a 4.4 or something, and I get a verbal offer. And so from there, I'm like, I'm coming. I came here and I just felt like it was meant to be. USC has always been ahead of the curve. Speaking of Black History Month, when we went down and played Alabama, with Sam Bam at running back, that was a big moment in history right there, not just for USC, but for blacks, for integration, for the country, for sports. And that right there, thinking about that, is just lets me know USC is not only like we're so diverse. We have people coming here from all across the world. It's just we're leading in the forefront of diversity, of just opportunity, of everything, and I just feel like it's the place to be.
Since you guys are athletes here, people probably see you as DJ the football player, DJ from the track team, Coco from the track team, Reggie the black dude that's on the baseball team, right? Right? And Dom playing soccer. So do you guys have any like other talents besides your athletic ability that you wish people knew about you, that you wish they would refer to you as that instead of your, I guess, sport per se?
I would say that people, when they hang around me, I'm pretty much easygoing. I joke around a lot, and even my teammates, they don't realize how smart I am. I have a 3.5 GPA here.
Ooh, yes.
So
Come
I mean,
on, Reggie.
I wouldn't say that's a talent.
Come on, Reggie.
I don't know if that's a talent, but
It is.
I say, like, when people look at me, they probably they see me as another black athlete, but they don't know that I take academics very seriously, and I'm very in tune to my academic side of my career here. So I would say that that's something that I think people wouldn't expect from me.
I don't think I have any other talents that, like, it's to exploit. I just have other things about me that people just don't know.
Name one.
Like, I'm fluent in French. I also played the violin till I can still play the violin, but I stopped in, like, the middle of my school year. Like, I have other things that it's different that people would never expect from me. I think that people just, like, see you and, like, oh, soccer consumes me. I'm like, no, I, like, did other things outside of soccer. I chose to focus on soccer, but I have other things that I can do. You just haven't seen it yet because you've never taken the time to, like, get to know me.
At the end of the day, I love running. I would run forever, but I really like what Dom said, how there are just things about her that you don't know, because honestly, I've seen Dom. I don't know Dom. She's another African-American athlete here, and I love that the soccer team is growing with African-American girls. I actually started off with soccer, so yes, soccer is near and dear to my heart. And yeah, growing up, I did not see African-American women in soccer, so it was more discouraging to look at that as a sport. And of course, track, I mean, you just think of black people when you hear track and field. So when it's like, oh, this is Coco, oh, does she run track? Well, yeah. Oh yeah, you look like you run track. Like, it's almost like, oh, of course I do. Like, either I run track or I play basketball. That's what I get all the time. No one would think, oh, I'm on the water polo team, I play tennis, I play soccer, because those aren't the stereotypes that are associated with those sports. But I feel like at USC that USC is actually breaking the glass ceiling with that. I mean, just on the track and field staff, it's predominantly African American. We have the first black head director and African American female, Carol Smith Gilbert, and I feel like that is a triumphant thing to happen. She was just hired last year, and she's doing great things with the program.
I feel like athletes and media and institutions should show that their athletes have a different side of them, that they're not just athletes, that we're also people. We also can write. We also can speak. We also can dance. We also can speak French. Like, I write poems. Like, that's my hidden talent. I write poems. And like, I just feel like...
Spoken word.
Can we hear one?
Okay.
Oh, are you serious?
So this poem's called Society's Brainwashed. Oh, wait. Society's brainwashed. Normal days come slim to none. Normal women seem to run. My clothes hang loose, my shoes have a swoosh, my swag is fresh. Ignorance of knowing rappers, actors, and athletes influence the style to dress. Faith, pride, and linguistic is what separates the strong from the weak. Faith is God, pride is never giving up, and linguistic is just the way you speak. It is God-given that my skin came shaded, but it was my decision to disobey God's vision and start getting faded. It's crazy we watch every music video and listen to every word that they're saying, but can't stay awake in church from the night before playing. Our queens aren't queens and our dads aren't dads. It's sad. Our women used to be called beautiful, pretty, and gorgeous, and now they're glad to be called bad. Since when did being bad become good and being a good girl become bad? Since when could you have a child and not be a dad? Bad is not good. Bad is bad. We chase material things, cars, jewelries, and bags. So our women chase being bad to get a bag from $1 million man that's a high-key baller and a low-key dad. Now you have a bag in your hand and blood at the soles of your feet and a man you can claim. But the bag and heels you're wearing is less than 1% he gets in the game. So you thought you came up, and of course you're going to rock it. But that man's on the rockets. It didn't make a dent in his pockets. Stop chasing money and fame, but seek the heart and the brain. Because a real man that's sane will express his feelings and show you the road that he came and help you pave your own lane. But music, TV, and media have all of America lost. That's why this poem's called Society's Brainwashed.
Wow. Snap, snap.
Nah, I gotta clap for you on that one. I gotta clap for you on that one.
Oh my gosh.
So I guess you guys are all living proof that, there's more to you than an athletic ability. And kind of Jessica alluded to this, that, only 1% of collegiate athletes go pro, right? So what are you doing to ensure that? Because naturally, athletes are looked at as role models in our society, right? Like, am I wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what are you doing to ensure that maybe the next DJ or the next Coco, Reggie, or Dom, they have this athletic ability, they can get to college, but how can we assure them that it's okay to be smart, it's okay to have other talents besides being, athletically gifted?
I think first of all, it starts off with awareness and learning Black history. The only history that kids see is the history of Black athletes. So that's what they think they can do. They don't hear about Marcus Garvey. They don't hear about George Washington Carver. They don't hear about all these Black people who've done things way outside of sport and have invented the stoplight. Like, they don't hear about stuff like that. So when they see Black people on TV and they're only doing sports, that's what they think that they can do. I'm only using my athletic ability to influence people. I'm not using my athletic ability to make money and to just live lavish. You know what I'm saying? I believe that as student athletes, white, black, any race, you know what I'm saying? Like, I believe in only one race, the human race, you know what I'm saying? We're all human. And I believe when you have spotlight, you're chosen to be in the spotlight just so you can either influence someone. You're either influencing positive or you're influencing negative.
I would definitely tell them to keep their nose in the books, because honestly, I wasn't raised to be an athlete. I had no type of athletic role models really growing up. My parents both worked government jobs. My parents both worked government jobs, and they came from West Africa, so to them it was always academics. I was just in sports my whole life just because they wanted me to do something fun, like to be active, but it was never a way for me to get to college or, hey, I'm gonna grow up and become pro. Like, that was never my thing growing up. So I guess it's kind of like an advantage for me, because at the end of the day, I'm always picturing that day where I can't run anymore, where I can't kick anymore, where I can't pitch anymore, where I can't hurdle, where I can't catch a football anymore. To me, that is always in my mind. I know it's very grim, but it's also a type of reality that a lot of my teammates, my athletic peers, do not really think of.
Like I said before, soccer isn't necessarily a predominantly African American sport, and I think being a part of a team that you would look at any D1 school, we could have a field full of African American girls, and that is amazing to me. I came in here with 2 girls. There were 2 before me, and I think it's so refreshing to be part of something bigger than just being judged as or being segregated, integrating, being the frontier of a team's model after us. Like, there are little girls that look up to us. I bonded with one little girl at a camp. Her name's Jordan. I text her constantly, Snapchat, and she's like, what does it take to get there? Being an idol for someone, that's amazing. She's going to a camp this weekend, and I'm excited to be her counselor for it. And I look forward to those moments that I can share with them, and being able to have that impact is amazing. I went from a girl who, I went to open tryouts for a state team. My dad had to sit there and talk to me because when I was younger, my parents separated and then they got back together. And my mom's Filipino, so she still has to deal with some of the race stuff, but not to the same degree. So my dad has sit me down before the tryout. He's like, look, there might be some politics that come into it, but don't let that deter you from being who you are. And so having that talk for the first time and now I can go talk to that little girl and be like, this isn't an issue anymore. Like, the issue may still be there at certain places, but like, it's not an issue here. Like, you can go out, be who you are, try as much as you want, and you will not be judged by the color of your skin, but by the way that you're an athlete. And also, you look at how many African American athletes we've had here, and a thing that my dad told me is, don't let the school exploit you, you exploit the school. Right. So think about how many of those graduated with a degree from the University of Southern California. So I also have that opportunity. I can be a positive statistic instead of a negative one. That, to me, is so much impactful. Like, I'm proud of that. My family's proud of that. And they're more proud that I'm going to get a degree from here than the fact that I get to wear a jersey every Friday, Sunday for 13 weeks out of the year. And that piece of paper is, to me, more important than that number 5 that I get to wear. And I wouldn't be here without soccer. So I'm blessed to be a soccer player, but I'm also blessed to be a student and be a person and be well-rounded. And I think those people also paved the way for us to be here. I wouldn't be here without them. And I'm so grateful for that today.
Just like Dom said, baseball isn't really a predominantly black sport. If you look in the major leagues, most of the colored people that you see in the major leagues are from Latin descent. Not too many blacks in the sport anymore. So me playing baseball here at a predominantly white institution, I think it's huge. Actually, our team is pretty diverse. We have, I would say, maybe 4 blacks, including me. And when we play other teams, like, people always come to us like, you guys got like the most black kids like I've ever seen on a baseball team. I mean, just collegiately. And I think that us playing baseball and me here, I think that I give, kids who grow up in the inner city, as I did, I give them something to look forward to. When I go back, I've done camps at like the Urban Youth Academy in Compton. And I tell these kids, like, playing baseball is like awesome. Like you can do this. Like, as long as you work hard, you keep working hard, you can go to college. And even if you don't play professionally, as long as you work hard enough to get a scholarship or just even get the opportunities to play in college, you can use your sport in order to get an education. And if you're talented enough to play professionally, then awesome. But it's always good to have education to fall back on. I mean, because nobody here knows what's going to happen. You could be the most talented person in the world, but if you blow out your knee, you can't play anymore.
Right.
And now what? Well, as long as I have that, that degree from USC, now I can move my life forward in other ways away from my sport. So I think that it's me being here. I like to give kids something to look forward to. Let them know that like it's possible. I always faced a lot of politics, a lot of racism in baseball, which is one of the reasons why I switched schools. I mean, I used to hear so much stuff at practice, like, "Hey, Reg, like, we gonna go get some Kool-Aid later? Like, want some fried chicken?" Like, and and I hear stuff like that, and I just think back to like Jackie Robinson. I'm like, and my parents tell me all the time that if what he went through isn't close to what you're going through now, so just let those kids talk. Don't fall into the stereotype. Don't fall into their plan because they want to get you mad. They want you to quit. They want you to get out of the game. So I use Jackie Robinson as a model, and I think that me being here, kids can use me as a model. So I think it's huge that I'm here.
I think that being part of this whole African American USC legacy is really huge, and I've always been told, don't let your sport use you, you use your sport. So to me, track and field has always been a platform to do something better. Like they said previously, seeing an African American student graduate from USC, you have that degree in your hand. That's what I'm looking forward to. Of course, I want to win a national championship, but at the end of the day, that ring can fade away, but that paper will never die. You will always be a graduate. You will always have your undergrad degree from USC, and that's something that you can always be proud about. I mean, like this year, well, track athletes in general, we're not allowed to attend graduation because we have a track meet that weekend. Wow. Yeah, and even though we get to go to athlete grad, but we don't get to go to our actual graduation, and that just speaks to term of, I mean, you want to be that African American student sitting amongst everyone else, showing your face, like, I'm here, I graduated. I mean, in my program alone, global health, we started off with 100 kids. They say usually it ends up being like 5. Like, everybody drops out, but I want to be that proud African American sitting there with my Bachelor of Science degree, because that's something that is just so powerful, and that was ingrained into my mind as a child growing up. It's always about the degree. So the fact that you can do a talent as in running, I mean, it's just like someone else being here in the band, someone else being here and they're an actress on the side. I feel like it's all the same thing, but at the end of the day, when you get that degree, that's just something very powerful. And then being an African American while doing it is just icing on the cake. Yeah.
Speaks volumes, definitely.
Just through my experience and my career, I've had 5 knee surgeries, and it's just been a journey, you know, and I realize now, like, it's just such a blessing to be able to walk, such a blessing to be able to talk, to see colors, to be able to, you know, just get yourself out of bed every day, to wake up every day, just to breathe without having something to have to breathe for you. So let alone to be able to wear the cardinal and gold and that shield when I go on to the track now, it's just, I'm just going to appreciate it so much more. And it's just a feeling that it's hard to explain, especially when you grow up, because a lot of athletes here are top athletes and have been top athletes for a while. So you don't really know how special your talent is until it's taken away through an injury, just through playing time or an eligibility or something. You know, I really feel like it's hard to have the mindset like she had. Before I got injured and stuff, I didn't really value the brand of the Trojan, of being a Trojan, just the SC, that logo. I didn't value the brand. I'm an SC football player. But once I got hurt, and then I started talking to Pat Hayden, Mr. McKay, and they start tucking me under their wings, letting me know, like, it's going to be okay. You know, we're going to set you up and network and teach you how to network to be able to go and meet anyone you want. That's the power of SC. That's the power of our brand. And it's just so special to be able to represent it and go out there, because I know once it's time for my career to be over, that alumni and whoever are going to appreciate me, like, thank you for your 4 years, 5 years, whatever, and now this is your chance. This is how we can help you. Now that is why I love USC. That's why I came to USC, is because I knew if all else fails, like, I'm from Southern California, if all else fails, if my legs fall off, like, with the SC degree, that is going to give me opportunities in life, you know, and just battling through adversity. I feel like adversity is inevitable in your life. It's that necessary force to push you to do extra, to make you be great. You know what I'm saying? You can't stop someone from being great. Like Jordan, he didn't make varsity. But that adversity he faced is what pushed him to keep working to now where he looks back and he's done, he has this legacy. Mm-hmm. You know, but so many people see adversity and they give up. But if you just take the adversity and challenge it, when everything levels out, you're going to have that work ethic of going uphill. But you're going to be on a plateau. It's going to plateau. It's going to level out, and it's going to be that much easier for you. So I just feel like this brand of SC is one that can't be touched. Like, we all stick together. We're all, like, we're right here. That SC interlock, you can't break us. And it's so important, and I love that I'm a part of this brand and this university.
Something that I got out of what all 4 of you mentioned was that no matter if you're an athlete or you aren't, If you're an African American, you're adding to a rich history here at the university, right? And so, you know, the trials and the tribulations that we face today, kind of like what your parents alluded to, it is in no way, shape, or form, you know, equivalent to what they had to go through back in the 50s and then the 60s during the Civil Rights Movement. And so now that we are here, now that we do have a chance to make the change, we can help future generations of young African-American kids growing up who may want to attend SC as an athlete or as a non-athlete, but just as a student. I think one thing that we can all agree on today is that we all value that piece of paper, and we're adding something great to this university during our time here. Did I get it right?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. So with that, we're going to wrap it up. I thank you all for your time, and thank you guys for watching.